Last week was a super exciting week, and I'm gonna tell you why, but at the end of this video, or towards the end, I'm gonna share with you a question I was asked that I thought was a really good question, and I'll really explain what the answer was. So why last week was a good week is we just rolled over our 100th deal closed and pending so far for this year, which one is cool in itself, but it's also really exciting because last year, 2022, we had 111 transactions closed for the entire year, which means in a down market, we are dramatically outpacing what we did last year. We're on pace to close around 140, 150 transactions this year, which is going to be a 35% increase, even in a marketplace that's seeing 40% less transactions. That's a net 70% increase. Super stoked on that. So let's get into what question I was asked, why it was asked, and what my answer was to it, because I think it really is interesting and it speaks to how you grow a business, whether you're an individual agent or a team leader. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Stubbs. I'm team leader and owner here at Onyx Homes, and I love sharing business information about the market for real estate agents and team leaders out there on the things that we have that work well, the things that we've done that don't work well. And this was an interesting point. So at our team meeting last week, I was sharing that just these numbers. I was sharing we just hit our 100th transaction. We were up 35% over last year, and in a marketplace that's down by 40% overall. And one of the agents in the back of the room asked, why is that? Like, why are we doing well when there are so many other teams or agents that are struggling? And before I could say anything, two of our vendors popped up that are in the meeting, and they said, for our agents that haven't been anywhere else, they only know our team, right? They don't know how a normal real estate office works, so they don't see that. So our two vendors popped up, and both of them said the same thing, is they said that the energy that we come, we all show up for our meetings, we are not screwing around, is I guess a good way to put it. But both of the vendors made a huge point that just the way we hold ourselves and the way we do business is totally different from our competition. So that was an interesting point. But my answer, I had a couple of different things, and I broke it down to really three different things that I think we've done really well as a team in order to have this success through a hard market. Now, I want to preface this as well by saying that this is not a sexy answer. This is the real meat and potatoes answer of how we've made a difference in our business. Number one, first and foremost, in the beginning of 2022, now mind you, I'm filming this a little bit halfway through 2023. In the beginning of 2022, we made some huge changes with our team. We raised minimum standards of what it required to be on our team. We really increased accountability and spread that over about 6 months. And we just frankly said, when the market turned and got hard, we had a really hard conversation with the team and just said, this market is not gonna go away in 6 months. This is gonna be the next 18 to 24 months of a difficult market. Now we're about a year past when we had that conversation, and here we are having a conversation of how much better we're doing than the overall market. So increasing expectations and accountability, not just for our agents, for our admin as well too. It was something that everybody had to step up a little bit higher, do a little bit better in order to do even the same business. Especially if you wanted to grow, a lot more work had to be done. You have to work smarter and you have to work harder in this market. As a leadership team, we implemented EOS, which is the Entrepreneur Operating System. If you have not read the book Traction and you're a business owner or want to be a business owner, especially for all team leaders, if you have employees, you have to be running this. Even if you don't, run yourself through this and have the own accountability. It's one of the biggest impacts we've had. So that is one thing from the admin side. We are way more structured. We have a real operating system, how we run the business, and that's kept us focused. Now, the other part for the agents as well too, is we incorporated minimum standards of what is required to be on the team and built-in accountability all the way throughout. So that is one of the things that has kept consistency in more of our agents more often, which always leads to more deals. Now, the last point I'll make on here as well too, is for the agents that chose not to hit those minimum standards, they were able to go and find another place to work or maybe another industry to work in. And the agents that chose to really do what they need to do to be successful leveled up and are way further in their career this year than they ever were last year. Number two is that we doubled down in the hard market. So we said, if there's gonna be less transactions this year, we follow Tom Ferry a lot. We're in a coaching organization. So we had a lot of guesstimates on data of how many fewer transactions were gonna happen. And we were guessing about half as many. Well, it turned out to be 40% less, which is about right. So we said that you're gonna have to have twice as many conversations, go on twice as many appointments, take twice as many leads in order to sell the same amount of houses. And that has been true for the most part. Now there's less people out in the marketplace, but in the same point, we doubled down on marketing, we doubled down on accountability, like I said before, we doubled down on the activities that our agents are doing, we doubled down on all the things we need to do for the admin staff to make our agents' life as easy as possible. So these are some of the things that there's nothing sexy about it. It is just we worked harder and we worked smarter through the whole year. And this is after a lot of agents had a really good run from 2020 to halfway through 2022. And then right when the market got hard, they went on vacation, they took a break, they took a breath and just relaxed. That's when we doubled down. We had an amazing fourth quarter of 2022 when most agents were saying that nobody was moving. December was actually one of our best months of that year. Right when the market shifted a little over a year ago, we sat down and had a really hard conversation with our team at that time. And we had to have and come to the realization that we had been in an easy market for quite some time and it was going to get much harder. Now, we had all been working our faces off, so it was hard to admit that that was an easier market. But now, a year later, we can absolutely say that this market is significantly harder than it was before. And thank God we have been working hard the entire way throughout, did not take that break. At that time, I had shared with our team that I was going to put my head down, our admin staff was going to put our head down as a group and really just work harder and smarter, get more stuff done with the same amount of time. And I advise that everybody did the same as well too. And the good news is most of our agents did, and those are the agents that are still with us and are still crushing through this difficult market. So last but not least, this is the least sexy answer on here, and this is focus. This is something that as we're coming up to Tom Ferry's Success Summit, I will be going there and I'm going to be filling up an entire notebook on things that I could implement into the business or agents could implement, and taking all of that and focusing down into maybe implementing one or two things. This goes hand in hand as a business owner implementing EOS, where we have projects or rocks that we work on every single quarter. So what we did was we cleared our plates of anything that was not driving revenue or making our lives easier. We gave ourselves the opportunity or the ability to really focus and really hone in on the things that mattered. And it made a huge difference on our business. We are doing 90% less stuff and getting 1,000% more done. It is something that has been a huge relief for, I know, our marketing department and our transaction department, but even for myself, I realize that even for me, when I sit down and focus on doing one thing, first of all, I do it 10 times better and it takes me half the time. Now that does mean that I can do less overall stuff, but I would rather have a few things done really, really, really well as opposed to having a whole bunch of half-assed projects, which is most of our businesses. So that was a change we made a little over a year ago, and it's made a tremendous impact on our business. As an individual agent, your focus has to be on the consistency, having conversations, setting appointments, closing those deals, and keeping your lead flow going even when it's harder than it was. That is the hardest part in this business, is consistency, especially when you start getting a few deals going. All of your hard work for the last few months has been paying off, and keeping going while you're managing your escrows. That's the hardest part of this business. And that's something that we've really, really focused on. We added in our accountability, which helps keep agents on track week over week over week, as opposed to going through the roller coaster that most agents feel. And I think the most important thing of this at the end of the day is we just have a really incredible group of agents. So to answer the question to the agent who was asking, there was the three things that we did. We increased our minimum standards of our team, and all of our agents increased and leveled up as well too. So their individual minimum standards raised also. Number two was that we doubled down when the market turned and got hard. So we had been working smarter and harder for a long time, and it is absolutely paying off. Number three is focus. Consistency is key in this business, and I cannot put it any other way. So that's the answer that I had to the question of why are we selling more homes? It's those three things. They're not necessarily hard, but they're certainly not easy. This business, I love this saying, it's simple, it's not easy, is just doing the same things that you know you need to do, and leveling up that minimum standard is super important. And as a PS, amazing marketing does not hurt. We just recently launched our rebrand. Carly, our marketing manager, absolutely crushed it. We love it. We think it looks gorgeous. If you have not seen this, head over to our website, onyxhomes.com. Check it out, join our newsletter. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment, like, share, and we'll see you in the next video.